Hey guys, today's digital marketing FAQs. We got a question that is, how can heat maps or scroll maps help with conversion rate optimization? All right, so it's a great question. And I think the first thing we want to unpack on this video is, what's a heat map, what's a scroll map? Do you mind?
Yeah, exactly. So a heat map is basically a software or something you can implement on your website that allows you to see where users are scrolling to, so how far they'd scroll down on your homepage. You can also see mobile compared to desktop, as well as clicks, scrolls, and then a few other different metrics. But essentially, it's how you see the user using your website, because obviously, you might think it's amazing, but
Right.
At the end of the day, everyone's different. And once we get tons of data and thousands of users, then we can really see what the problems are with our website and how we can improve that or what we're doing really good at.
Absolutely. So on the heat map, what it's going to show you is where are they hovering the mouse, right? And what are the areas that they're going over and checking out. So that's going to give you, based on the design that you have today, that's going to give you some sort of advice on, are they clicking on the buttons that you thought, right, the call to actions, or are they just moving on, right? Are they reading the headline that you put together as the best possible headline? And if you're not getting the conversion that you're expecting the website or the web page or the landing page to give you, I would highly, first of all, recommend running a test for sort of figuring out where the users are hanging out. So that's a very, very good, obviously that alone is going to help you with your conversion rate optimization, right? Just figuring out what is not getting clicked, you start eliminating things. So I think some of the reasons why landing pages don't convert is because there's probably too much you're trying to accomplish with that landing page. Maybe you're trying to tell too much. Maybe you're trying to solve for 2 to 3 problems as opposed to one problem. That's the thing I see. They're trying to put gallery on there, testimonials, and everything else that you've ever read.
Bio,
right. Everything else you've ever read about how to optimize doesn't mean that you need to put all of them on it. And I would highly recommend running just a heat mapping tool that you could use. The second one for the scrolling, I think, is a very important part, is also how long are they scrolling before they leave the page.
Right, and I think
why is that important?
I think this is definitely important, especially if you have CTAs or maybe a call to action or a differentiator, on the bottom 50% of your homepage or one of your main pages. The user's not seeing that. So what if you do have a beautiful CTA, or maybe you have a phone number pop up that comes when you scroll near the bottom of the page, or maybe a PDF or something, but if only 95% of the users are leaving, that would mean only 5% are seeing that. So how can we optimize that top half of our site where 50 to 60% of our visitors are at, and getting that top half of the site the best we can get it for the conversion rate?
Absolutely. So I was going to say, anytime you have important information that are buried before wherever the user bounces off isn't going to get seen. So it's really important, it's very critical that you pay attention to how far along they scroll before they leave, right? So having the information of where they're clicking, having the information how far they scroll, it's going to give you a pretty good information on what you need to tweak to the landing page or the website, like you said, so that you can begin to increase the conversion. So if you're not running those types of tests today, I highly encourage you to start using any sort of third-party tools to run that. And another thing just to point out is that you don't want to run that for too long, because it does slow down your web page, right? So you want to use the information, and then you can get rid of it, turn it off, and then put it back again when you feel like it's the right time to do it. Highly recommend not just keeping it on forever and ever, because chances are your developer might forget, or you might forget, and it could technically slow down the landing page, and that itself can hurt your conversion if you have many tools and many tests that you're trying to run at the same time. So minimizing the code is always critical. There's nothing easier than just getting rid of it or using Tag Manager or something like that. But long story short, knowing where they click, knowing where they don't click, start eliminating navigational items, eliminate anything. If you don't think the phone numbers are getting used, get rid of it, and also making the current call to action more prominent, because you want to make it easy for you to convert, maybe removing some fields on the form, anything you can do. And secondly, knowing how far they scroll down, getting rid of anything that's below that, and consolidating the rest of the page, making it, like you said, more mobile optimized, will be the best second thing that you can do for increasing your conversion rate. And at the end of the day, it's science. These things will give you specific information on what you need to do. And so use that data to your advantage so that you can get better conversion rate throughout the experience of this user. So that's pretty much it. Do you agree? Anything else?
No, definitely. I think that was good. And conversion rate differs website to website. E-commerce
Industry to
different
industry as well.
businesses.
Right.
So you can read a lot of good things on the internet, but you really need to look at your users, and everyone needs a unique strategy at the end of the day. So I think that was good insight on what you had to say.
Absolutely. Thank you all for tuning in. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Leave us a comment. Consider subscribing, and we'll see you next time.